Welcome to Caching Waves. This is an Elliott wave update for Solana. I'm going to get into the micro time frame and talk about this current fourth wave I have labeled. Just wanted to show you on the daily where I currently have us using Elliott wave. And off the significant low, we have a wave 1 and 2. We have a second 1, 2, our 3, 4, 5 for our third. Our expected targets was only $90. You can see we got extended for our third between the 2.236 and the 382. And off our second 1, 2, we also got extended all the way up to the 2.618. So it was quite an extended wave, but holding up very nicely. You can see we're consolidating sideways in a series of 3s rather than 5s, which is a very good sign. And you can see we haven't even reached the 236 on log scale. Now, we want to get between the 236 and the 50 for our fourth wave. We have done that on linear, not on log. So that either means we're extremely bullish and expecting very high targets, or eventually we need to make a new low, tag the 236 on log. I don't think we're going to do that, and I'll show you that on the smaller time frames. But just some extra added guidelines. You take your pitchfork from the beginning of wave 1, off of wave 1, off of wave 2, put on a modified pitchfork, and all that is the same as using a channel. Like so, it's the exact same thing. Pitchforks are just easier. And the top side of the channel is where you expect your fourth wave. So you can see we nicked that basically right to the T and reversed off of that. So we're going to talk about this area. Looks quite bullish. You can see we didn't get any 5-wave move to the downside to suspect that we have a top. So as of right now, very bullish. But we're not sure where our fourth wave is going to be complete. I do not see it as complete yet, but once we do have our fourth wave in, that's where we take our extension of the beginning of wave 1 off of wave 1 and extend that off that wave 4 for our fifth wave target. Now we can get quite high targets depending on the pattern we make, which I think is going to end up being a flat or a running flat, but we'll have to see which one we get. Now, an example of a running flat is this fourth wave here. We ended up making a 3, 3, 5. Very quick C wave. A wave got drawn out, so C wave was faster. But that's what I'm looking for in the current zone, but just a larger time frame. Something like that, and then we go. Very similar. So in the running flat scenario, I'll go down to the hourly and show you that. That's our fifth of our third, you can see. So in the running flat scenario, this is what I am looking for. Let me go to the 4-hour first. So right now we have a 3-wave move as an A wave, working on a B wave. And just to be clear, to make an ABC as a flat, we have to reach at least that 198.05, the 90% retracement of wave A. If we don't reach that, this actually becomes a complex correction as a WXY. Difference being, we expect 3 waves in a WXY for our Y wave. If we reach that 90%, we can make 5 waves for a C wave. That's the difference. So it's very important to know the difference. We can also come as high as the 1.236, 1.382 extension of wave A. That's between 241 and 263. So we're going to have to be tracking this in real time. And we do have quite a bit of confluence right in this zone. I'll show you that. So I'm expecting either we come right up to that 90%, make our 5-wave move down for our C, just go past the A wave and then continue to the upside. Or we come up, make a correction, come up for another 5 up to this zone, and then get our C wave there as a running flat, more looking like this one here. Because I'll show you right in this zone. So we have our A wave, we're looking for a 3-wave move, And as of right now, I see this as a 3, as an A wave, B wave, sorry, right here, B wave, and looking for 5 waves up as a flat, a 335. This reached the 90% retracement, so looking for 5 for this C wave within the B before we drop. So we'll go down to the hourly. I'll show you where that is. So there's our 3 for our A, our B wave complex, and we're looking for 5 waves up for this C wave. So we're starting our count from this B wave low, looking for 5 waves. Now, as you can see, we have a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, extended 5th wave. In this one, we didn't hit the 1.618 for our 3rd, but we did make an extension again. Solana loves making these extensions for our 3rd wave in blue. Again, coming between the 200 and 2.236. So I believe we have 3 waves complete, nice 3-wave correction here, and looking for the 1-to-1 extension of wave 1 in blue off of this wave 4, which is right here at 197.34. Now, important to realize we might get a bit of overthrow because we do need to reach that 198.05 to be a ABC flat rather than a WXY. Now, I also took the beginning, the larger wave A off of wave B. The 100% is at 197.03, where we get equality in the legs before we make that move to the downside. So you can see there's a lot of confluence there, as well as a 5-wave pattern to complete. So I'm waiting to see what happens here. I don't really see this as a triangle unless we don't make a new high. Right now we have a 3-wave move, which can also be counted as an ABC. So in the triangle scenario that I mentioned last time, series of 3s, if we don't make a new high, this can come down in a complex manner, and we just get an ABC to this top here. This would be an A, B, C, D, E wave. And at that point, if we start getting the thrust, as we expect in a triangle, that's where I would get our measurement and call this the bottom of wave 4. But this does get complex. Reason being, this is why B waves are so difficult in a flat, is if we go to this example over here, what we can actually get here is if instead of 5 waves, we can get a 3-wave move. So we can relabel this as a W, X, and this becomes a complex W. We get an A, B, C for a W, X, Y, and this just becomes a zigzag. And then you can see we come up to our zone, and then we get our wave equality like so. And this becomes our ABC as a running flat. So this is why B waves can be so difficult, because you can just keep extending in 3-wave moves. And you can see even between the triangle pattern and a complex correction as a WXY up to make this B wave, very similar patterns. But how you get edge here is, my suggestion would be to hedge in this zone. Not financial advice, just what I would do, and pay attention to what happens here. Do we hit that 90% to make that B wave as a running flat? So we'd expect 5 waves down, because if you see a 5-wave move down like this, I would anticipate we're getting this C wave, right? We're getting 3, 4, 5. But if we come up and we make a B, C, make a high B like that, I would more anticipate that we're going to make another move to the upside. Whether that's the B wave or the end of the triangle, very difficult. But again, remember, if we break this high, triangle is currently out the window for me if we break this high where this wave 3 is. And that price is at 185.17 according to Binance. You can see we just came shy of that, because this can easily be a triangle. I know it doesn't seem likely at the moment, but we'd get a 3, 3, 3, something like this for an ABC. But it seems unlikely. Looks like we're about to hit that new high. But just throwing that out there in case we come back a little bit from here, that would be my option there. And label this an ABCDE. But you can see this zone here, the 1-to-1, is quite the target here. Wave 5 target, 1-to-1 of wave A, and our minimum requirement for the 90% for a flat, completing our B wave. And whatever happens over here is the important thing. Do we drift sideways? Because then I'd be looking for another 5-wave move to the upside for a WXY, or do we come down impulsively like so? So just pay attention at the zone. I'm very concerned in that area. So I'm just watching. I'm not in this trade right now, but if I were in it, I would hedge right at that zone. All right, guys, that's it for Solana. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one.